Welcome back to the Boneyard podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Shepard, along with my good friend.
Know the soul. Josh is in the house today. Sorry, guys. Artie is too busy enjoying his life.
Artie, for those of you that don't know, Artie did get married on Sunday. That was a very, very fun time. I am still recovering from all the festivities. I can't go into too much detail, but drinks were drank and good times were had by all, and the lovely couple have unplugged. I actually just heard from him for the first time since getting married. But yeah, everybody's good. Congratulations to Artemis Brower and Ashley Brower. We love you. And I will see you Saturday at the game, Artie. All right. Josh, episode 253 of the Boneyard podcast. How are we doing?
Doing good. We're doing good. It has been a doozy of a week, even though it's only been one day. It's only been one day of work, but it's already been a doozy. So I am looking forward to a nice, relaxing game this Saturday, watching the Pirates take care of business.
I'll say, yeah, I took off Thursday and Friday of last week for celebrating Artie and Ashley. And so last week was a short week. This week's a short week with the holiday. Not to mention I'm traveling for work this week. I'm home Friday afternoon, game Saturday. I leave again for work on Tuesday of next week. So I will say your boy's stressed out, but we're here. Before we go any further, Josh, I do want to give a quick shout out. Roback, you see it. I'm wearing the new Roback gear. Go get you some. I know a lot of stuff sold out right now. A lot of stuff is sold out right now. A lot of sizes. If you're big like me and Josh, the polos are hard to come by right now, but you can get yourself one of these sick hoodies, a quarter zip. More designs coming. Real quick, more designs coming this month from Roback. So you'll be able to get some different colors and whatnot in the quarter zip and the hoodie. Use Boneyard 20% off your first order. That's site wide, y'all. Site wide. So if you see anything else you want, I saw that they had some new golf polos drop this week. Go check those out. Get you right. It's perfect to wear around the house. It's perfect to wear to a game, to a tailgate. If you're gonna go play golf, take a nice little stroll. Take your wife, your girl out to a nice dinner after celebrating an ECU victory. It's great. Get you some Roback. Boneyard 20, promo code 20% off your first order.
I gotta add, if you have that special woman in your life, go to Roback and just check out the women's collection.
They do have some good women's stuff.
If you want to earn yourself a Saturday, right, give her something nice to wear, send her off, right? Have yourself a nice weekend. Grab her some Roback. Even if you can't find anything in your size right now, I know it's hard for me to come by. Might be hard for you. There's still a way.
Don't worry, Josh. I got a little something for you on Saturday. Don't worry. I was able to get a little something for everybody on the podcast, but yeah, hopefully more sizes or more SKUs will be added soon. All right, let's get into it. What's going on with volleyball? They swept the Hampton tournament this past weekend.
Yeah, they did actually. So they swept the Hampton tournament. That was a couple HBCUs mainly, but Hey, 3 straight wins in 3 straight days. You have 2 players who end up on the all tournament team, that being Allie Huff and Ellie Pate. And then Pate was also the tournament MVP. So great things are happening over there in volleyball. Looking forward to them traveling down to Asheville this weekend for another 3 game set, doubleheader on Friday, I believe, and that single game on Saturday, if not Saturday, Sunday. I got those days mixed up, not looking at it, but yeah, man, volleyball's on a roll. I think it's going to be a pretty good year. Looking forward to conference play.
Look, ECU's competitive in just about every sport. It's prime time to buy stock in East Carolina athletics. So, shout out to those girls. Josh, last week we recorded. I think the very next day it came. ECU announces, just like it always does. ECU announces next year they will start the season on the road at Alabama. Get your "We Want Bama" signs out, because I got news for you. It's happening. ECU will travel down to Tuscaloosa to take on the Rolling Tide in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Josh, it's not the one we thought it was going to be. We thought maybe SEC. We talked about Virginia. I mean, it just so happened to work out. ECU is going to go play at Alabama.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, my first thought is we were saying we want Bama about a decade ago in jest, because we really were thinking that we were that good. Good thing we didn't actually schedule them back then, because could you imagine that disaster? We might have gotten them at the best possible time. Like, not saying that we're going to beat them at their place. That's not what I'm saying here. A year out, more than a year out still. It's not even September 5th. But I think that this game is going to be very intriguing to see how 2026 kind of lines up. I mean, what players do we have at that point? Like, what's the team makeup? Like, what are the hopes and dreams of the 2026 team? I think that we are going to enjoy ourselves, and I know I'm going to enjoy the payday. I'm going to enjoy the payday.
Was it 1.5 million?
1.5 guaranteed.
Love that. And I think it's funny. So that was originally the date, right, for the ECU West Virginia game.
Right.
And then West Virginia ended up scheduling Alabama.
Yes.
For that date. And then Alabama broke that contract with them, right? To schedule us.
Yes. And part of that is because of the SEC going to 9 conference games next year. They needed to get that one down and play ECU instead of getting that West Virginia Power Conference game. But I think West Virginia also looks out because they get Coastal Carolina. It's a good play for everybody. I mean, the contract with West Virginia was only going to be $300,000 or 330, something like that. Like, it was going to be chump change, and the final result might have been the same as if we play Alabama next year, to be completely honest with you. So, hey, a better payday, better experience for the fans. I think it's a good one.
The Pirates can avenge their, what was it, 1997?
It was 97?
97 or 98 loss at the hands of Alabama. 23-22, I believe. 1 point, close game. Wasn't even played in Bryant-Denny. It wasn't even played in Tuscaloosa. It was played in Birmingham.
It was in Birmingham.
So we're going to do everything we can to get down to that game. Got to. Oh, I'm so excited. That's like, we played Michigan a couple years ago. That's one of those games that if you can mess around and at least like keep it close and who knows,
If you can USF it, right? If you can USF it,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. If you can keep it close and put a scare into them, which look, Alabama isn't the Alabama from the Saban days. I don't know. I think a lot of Bama fans are worried about Kalen DeBoer.
hey, as long as the playoff keeps expanding and they keep making it, he'll be fine. To be honest with you, I think right now, if I'm one of those power teams, I'm thinking we can lose 2 games every year.
Oh yeah.
Like it really doesn't. You don't have to have that one loss type
Hell,
season,
Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois last year
right?
and Marshall the year before
Exactly. And still went to the Natty,
and still playing for the national championship.
hosted, and they did it the long way. They had to host
Right.
round one. Like it's not like it's I mean, I get it. So for me, it's definitely one of those like, hey, if you think Kalen DeBoer's time is up, good for you, but might as well ride the wave. Might as well ride the wave.
100%. Some other football news. Season tickets are again outselling last year's season tickets. I believe we're over 15,000 season tickets sold last year. I think it ended just around 14, maybe 13 and a half season tickets. Would love, I know it's not going to happen. I would love to see that number creep back up to being in the 20s.
If we could do 20, man, that'd be that. I think that'd be a little crazy with this, with the current situation of sports. But
Right. But you're seeing it elsewhere. It happens. There are G6 programs selling $20,000 or 20,000 season tickets. Now, I think part of that is we have to be better about scheduling. Right? ECU's doing a decent job in scheduling, but they're scheduling a lot of these away games. Makes sense. Take the bag. But if you can find one or two where, hey, we're gonna get a team in here, that'll be a real nice boost. And also, I mean, you got to put it out on the field, right? You got to put the team out there that people want to see.
right.
Next, a new tailgating option is available in the location of the former Scales building. You can rent a tent and have the tailgate catered, or you can bring your own food and drinks. The tailgate space will feature live music, a video board to watch games from around the country, and parking passes. I mean, you're not going to find a tailgate spot closer to the stadium. That is right there, almost inside the stadium.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I can't wait to see how that checks out.
Guess the starting price for that, Jared. Guess the starting price
For one game.
for one game. A 20 by 20 tent, right? Comes with Pepsi products and water, right? Comes with that. Got
food?
cocktail tables. Yes.
$5,000.
2.
Okay.
But that's likely if you bring food and drink. It's probably likely if you do the food, you bring your own food and drink. It's probably 2, probably closer to 4, maybe.
Yeah.
If you got a full house, situation and getting it catered. But still, I mean, regardless, I mean, parking passes alone to be close enough to where that is a feasible option, right?
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
All right. Josh, we don't have to spend too much time on this game. I know we're kind of running behind tonight. We got our guest coming on here in about 5-10 minutes. Let's talk about this ECU NC State game. A game that in the first half I was like, "Oh no. Here we go." I was really concerned, especially after that first quarter. about we're going to get embarrassed. And then ECU fought back, made a respectable game, had a chance to tie it or even take the lead there in the final 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Stop me if you've heard that story before. Couldn't get it done. I mean, they had it 4th and 1 on the 6-yard line, I believe, 5-yard line, with about 50 seconds left in the game. Josh, all in all, you were there. I was watching on TV, and during the first half, I wasn't watching like super hard. I was at a rehearsal dinner. Shout out Artie and Ashley. But tell me, what did you see? What was the experience like there in Carter Finley?
First of all, Carter Finley, you gotta do something about how the sound works in there. It was not loud. The crowd was engaged in the game. I could tell, I could feel the energy. Did not have a sound impact to me on the field. Felt a lot like Liberty, to be completely honest with you. But other than that, I did say to myself early in that first quarter, the ghost of Donnie Kirkpatrick pass is definitely upon us. I, for the life of me, could not understand why we were running the ball to nowhere over and over and over and over and over again. Like, to me, I don't know what it was. That had my spirits down more than anything else, to be completely honest with you. The comeback was great. Lots of good energy there. Love the ECU chant by the fans that were in the upper deck. Good on you to get that ECU chant going when NC State felt like they were probably losing the momentum. Overall, good performance though by a lot of players. Good performance by a lot of players. Just filling in some of those holes, getting some of those newer players up to speed. I think that's really what we're going to be leading moving forward this year.
Yeah, I'll say there's several times when I was watching, when we got back to the house, I was watching it, and I was able to, you would feel the momentum, right? Even watching it on TV, just like any game, you can feel momentum shifting, and it from about halfway through the second quarter, pretty much through the end of the game, it felt like momentum was shifting to ECU. And then, I mean, ECU would have to punt it away or an untimely penalty. And that momentum, it felt like that momentum stopped, but then the defense brought it right back, getting a stop, forcing a long field goal attempt, which NC State seems like they may have some problems there. But that's how I felt watching from afar. And I'll say the defense, I think there was a lot of alike with what I saw. There was a little bit of, hey, we still need to get to the quarterback. Now, CJ Bailey, a quarterback that, I mean, he's shifty. He can run or he could throw, a true dual threat. It's hard to bring down. There were several times, the main takeaway I had for defense, when you get them to 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, you've got to get off the field. You cannot give away free possessions that way. And especially in that first half, and a little bit more or a little less so in the second half, it felt like ECU couldn't get off the field at times. Whether it was they shoot themselves in the foot with a bad penalty, or they CJ Bailey just had too much time. He could run around, find an open receiver, or even just run for the first down himself. That's what it felt like to me. Offensively, like you said, it was. I was like, what in the world are we doing? It felt a lot like Donnie Kirkpatrick. My thought was last year ECU could grind on the running game and then hit one. And once you kind of broke one, the floodgates kind of opened. And they were trying to get that to happen again in that game. I don't know that you have that potential in this running back room. I've said all offseason, I really like this running back room. But I don't know that that's the game that you can do that in. An away game on the road at a big-time rival, I don't think you can do that. And I think part of it was the question marks for NC State were that front seven, right, on defense. So can we take advantage of them just like they're trying to take advantage of us? They got the better part of us on the running game. But all in all, the offense showed sparks and showed potential. Granted, had they been able to figure it out a little bit earlier in the first quarter, I feel like we're talking about an ECU victory. I feel like you are able to make that field goal going into half. I feel like we're talking about an ECU victory. The last thing I'll say, the play call on 4th and 1 to end the game. I get it. That play had been working. Passes to Desiree Riles had been working the entire fourth quarter, that entire drive. It had been working. Coach Harrell said we knew we were going to get zero coverage. You got it. You didn't make the play. Yeah, you didn't make the play because your guy didn't run past the sticks to catch the ball. It wasn't designed for that. After trying to run it up the middle again, a play that honestly I thought they got it, just watching like live, I was like, oh, they got it. They didn't. I'm thinking some kind of RPO real quick. That's your best option. But I think you've got to throw it past the sticks. When it's 4th and 1, you have to throw it past the sticks. Come on now. It's elementary school.
I felt that way a couple times. Some of the situations I'm not going to question a decision being made on throwing the ball, but when I see from my vantage point a player not necessarily open, but that you can throw him open and he's past the sticks, like, bet on yourself. But I will say, Caden Hauser did not have any turnover-worthy plays. Yes. So, hey, we might have to pick our poison for a little bit. And if that means a conservative 2-3 yards on a 3rd down, maybe versus a 4th down, I'll take it. But on those 4th down plays, turnover or not, it's. I mean, if you don't get it, it's still a turnover. So you might as well put the ball where you need to.
And in my opinion, I think it would have been a better option to throw it on 3rd down, try to get it. If you know you're going for it on 4th down, throw it on 3rd down, and then try to figure out a run on 4th down if you had to. That's what I'm trying to do. And Coach Harrell said that if they had scored, they had already decided that they were going to go for 2. They were going to try to win the game right then, right there. And you kind of could tell that by the way that they were taking the clock down all the way. They were trying to win it right then and there. But anything else you have to add about NC State, ECU? All I'll say, the way that game started, that game losing by a touchdown felt like a victory in my opinion. Being down, what was it? 14, 17, nothing?
17.
And to lose by a touchdown, I'll take that. So
every time.
All right. Well, on to week 2. And this week, we got the Fighting Camels, coming in to Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium, the home opener of the 2025 season. We're going to have Lyndall Suggs, come on. Lyndall, welcome to the Boneyard podcast. How are we doing, my friend?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
Doing good.
We cannot complain. We are finally in the thick of football season.
No, all the games coming up. It kind of snuck up on me a little bit this year. I wasn't able to jump right on it like I wanted to, but yeah, I mean, with everything, and then the NFL comes back this week as well. It's going to be an insane week in front of my television, but wouldn't want to spend it anywhere else.
For sure. Well, Lyndall, talk to me about the Camels. They gave number 9 Rhode Island a scare last week.
Yeah, these guys are. I would say, from my personal perspective, this is a different team than last year's team. Last year, the first year for new head coach Braxton Harris coming in, trying to kind of secure, change some culture a little bit, do some rebuilding, did a little bit of a demolition when he came in, knocked some things over, trying to change some culture. And even in the age of the portal, you're able to get a whole lot of guys in, but sometimes you got to get some guys out in order to change some things around. And so I think this year, we're really starting to see the culture that he's bringing in and what he wants to do with these guys. With that being said, I think offensively, we have a guy that actually looks like a quarterback. Not to say that we haven't had that in the past, of course, with Hajj Malik Williams, but I think Six Killer looks like a guy, 6'4", strong arm, accurate, great tight spiral on the ball offensively, trying to figure out the running game and the wide receivers and the connection between the two. Defensively, I think we are much more sound. We've got some strong pieces. I think the secondary is probably, in my opinion, one of the stronger halves if they can stop being penalized of the defense. And then the linebacking core is also great as well. So lot to like. We finally got a kicker. And so that has been a struggle. Well, it's only been one game, but I have faith in Crab. So he seems like he's a guy. So I'm excited about the season so far.
Josh.
Yeah, that's all that sounds great. I am really looking forward to seeing Campbell. I know 2022 was a little bit of a different game than this year's going to be, different coaching staff and everything like that. I mean, what do you think is going to be the key to a Campbell keeping it close or even a Campbell upset?
We can't panic. Sometimes it's easy if you pay attention to how we played Liberty last year. For a good little while before we went into a lightning delay, we were up on Liberty. And so, at the half, the difference between group of 5, between FCS really shows because the depth of coaching staff. So, this specific talent pool has a different and set amount of coaches that's able to look at these guys and say, hey, let's sit down, look at these plays and come over it. So they have just a different trajectory. We just don't have those resources. And so, not that the talent is any different. I think our O-line is as strong and as tall and as big as any O-line out there. It's just their ability to be able to make corrections at the half. And so, kind of the same thing. The guys can't panic, It's going to be a great test for us because we also have the Wolfpack on our schedule. So, it'll be interesting to see kind of where we stack up knowing that that game is coming. So, they just can't panic. They just got to play their style of ball. And at the end of the day, we're here for I'll say it like this. The guys want to win. From a different standpoint, we understand the money that is also involved. So if you're going to lose, at least get paid. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, we were just talking about ECU signed a deal to go to Alabama next year, so we get it.
Hey, if you're going to lose, at least get to bring home an envelope when you go home.
I mean, I love the honesty. You said planning and game planning, but who's that one guy on this Campbell team? Maybe you can tell me the guy on offense and on defense that when ECU fans look at him this Saturday, they're going to be like, oh gosh, like that's the dude for the Camels.
If he catches a ball in space, it'll be Randall King. I mean, and King is now, mind you, last year we had Sincere Brown, who is now at Colorado with Deion Sanders. We had VJ Wilkins, who's now at Boston College with Bill O'Brien. And so we've had these guys at the top of our receiving core, and that was Randall's first year with the football team starting, and then the lineup and the rotation, all that other stuff. So this is his first real test as wide receiver one. He's going to be circled on the depth chart. Now I think he's got a group of guys that are around him. I think the depth is a little bit better, possibly. But you want to talk about quick twitch and in space and able to get off 0 to 100 a motor. He is wonderful in open space situations. And so when you see him on the field, I think you will be impressed by his ability to get open. I think his route running is much better this year than it was last year. But if he catches a ball in space, he really only needs one blocker for a good gain. And so that has been a positive for us. Defensively, I think there's a whole host of guys, specifically, Logan Livermon, to be one. But my personal favorite, if I've got to put a personal favorite guy out there, it's got to be JoJo Pace, number 8. I think what JoJo brings to the team is high energy, high octane, at the DB position. You want a guy who's going to be out there that is not going to give you a lot of penalties in your secondary, but is able to cover down and has the quick twitch and the speed to get there. He's also a headhunter. And so that is beautiful to see, him get out in space. So those are just a few of the guys, but I think there are 2 or 3. I think J.J. Cowan is also another story at running back too. A guy who is only a sophomore, but right down the street, went from walk-on to scholarship in 1 year just because he was a downhill kind of guy, pads down, head down, run through you. And I think he's got some more finesse now.
Yes, good stuff. I think ECU fans that follow recruiting would know the name Randall King. We almost had him as a DB, so glad to see that he is excelling where he is at. Just looking at the coaching staff, what kind of scheme does the offense run, defense run, and like how do you think that's going to compare to, especially size wise, in terms of how they play their defensive scheme against our faster receivers, we might say, or how the offense might be lined up against our quick twitch DBs?
I think this year, and I'm not the best on what the American style and pace of play is, but I think defensively we are built for the CAA. The CAA is a run-heavy league. You can win in the CAA if you can run the football. So I think we are built to stop the run. I know that leaves us some places and spaces on the outside edges in the slot and on the end against receivers that might leave us a little bit more vulnerable. Now, again, it's only been 1 game, but just from my eye, if there's a weak spot in the defense, it could be there. But I think we are built up front, to stop the run. Offensively, I think that our biggest weapon right now, from what you can see from game number 1, is being able to attack in space, right? Get guys open and allow them to do what works for them, rather that is in the run game and the pass game, kind of attack in space and use, rather it be creatively, any means necessary to get the first down. We've got 3 quarterbacks that we really, really like. And so any 2 of them could be on the field at any point of the game. And so that's all by design. That's all by scheme. We saw some of that last year in this Matt Kubik offense. We saw that in the first game as well. So you just never really know. Some of it is to throw you off. Honestly, you never know. Each game is different. So I would say offensively, it kind of depends on what the defense is giving us. And if the defense is allowing us to attack in space, then we'll take it. So, um, and we'll have to see when it comes game time.
And talk to me like with this team. I just want to know like what is the limit for them? Like obviously last week, I mean, took a lead into the fourth quarter against the top 10 team in the FCS ranks. What are kind of the expectations around this team in Bowie's Creek?
I think externally, looking at our record, only winning 3 games last year and 1 in conference, the expectations are not high. Externally, I think we were picked to finish 2-10 throughout the year and throughout this season. And so people are just kind of expecting us to mull through the year with so much change and turnover. Second year with a new head coach and a new system all around, new coordinators and everything of that nature. So I don't think the ceiling is high externally. Internally, though, this is the toughest schedule that we've ever seen. I mean, we open with number 9, and our schedule literally goes ECU, Furman, Bryant, Western Carolina, State. So Western Carolina is ranked now. They could be ranked when they come in. We also have, New Hampshire, who is really a top team in the CAA, could possibly be ranked, and William and Mary and Elon at home as well, which could also be ranked by the time we get to them. But I think what Rhode Island showed us about our ceiling, personally, in my opinion, is that the sky is the limit. I think some of these games where we were casted off might be a little bit closer than people were prognosticating at the beginning of the year. And so, with that being said, for us, it comes down to the fourth quarter. If we can clean up the fourth quarter and win the fourth quarter, we will win a lot of football games this season. If we can win that fourth quarter, get the fourth quarter down and not panic at the end, because we had a lead on Rhode Island for all the way through the third. And so if we can finish out that fourth quarter, the sky's the limit for us. I think we could shock a whole lot of people. I'm not saying CAA championship because you've already lost a 1 conference game, but I am saying it is a possibility that people will look over and say, well, what the heck is really going on in Bowie's Creek and what they're building? I think the eyes will really start to draw here if we can close that fourth quarter out.
And I want to go back, take a step back on something you said earlier looking at some of the stats from that game against Rhode Island. You talk about the running game for Campbell, and I know I'm doing a little bit of a pivot, but you talk about that running game. I'm looking at the carries for your running backs. I mean, seems like a pretty balanced load across all the running backs. You got Cowan with 7 carries, Chandler, you got your 2 quarterbacks, each with 6-8 carries. And then you've got other guys, 6 and 4 carries, and all getting positive yards, at least 10 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that by design or is that something that we're going to see like 2 backs or talk to me about that?
Yeah. One thing that I like about Matt Kubik's offense, who is our offensive coordinator, is his ability to throw in wrinkles everywhere. You even as someone who watches Campbell continuously, I really don't know on a game day what I'm going to get. By meaning that the playbook is open to where these guys have such good ability. Coach Harris and his team have really done a good job of bringing guys in who are versatile. And so when you bring in guys who are able to run the football, just from the running back position. If you bring in a guy who's able to run the football, powerhouse downhill, you might have a guy who's better at running downhill. You might want to use on third downs more than another guy. Or you might have a guy who has a little bit more finesse who you might want to get into some open space and maybe do some jet sweeps or RPO kind of things. I just think the offense allows the team to the offense allows the offense to look in front of them the scheme allows the offense to look in front of them and say, hey, in this situation here, this is what's going to work the best. And I think that, Coach Kubik has done a good job of preparing the guys of saying, hey, this is what we want to do. So rather that is 6 killer getting 3 yards here, and we're going to chunk it up the yards as long as we get that first down. Rather we put, Mike Chandler in a jet sweep or motion him out and put him in the slot, or we bring JJ in to run right up the middle, or we do an outside pitch to the outside with one of the running backs we've brought in for the transfer portal. No matter, it's by design for any means necessary. However we can get the yardage done or get the yardage gained is kind of how it is. And I think that's why you see that on the stat sheet is everybody is contributing from their spot. We brought in guys that have had a lot of FCS snaps, which is something that we didn't have last year. We didn't have guys who had a lot of experience playing college football. And so when you bring some guys in who know how to play college football, what you have is people who have great decision making. And so that really works in this offense that we have.
Josh, anything else you have?
No, I was gonna ask about Jalen Ferguson, but did he get any playing time in that first game?
No, but again, this is not your typical quarterback room.
Right.
Any of these guys can really get on the field at any moment. One thing that I like about Ferguson, watching him, and I don't know if you've watched him or that's why you're asking, but I love his throwing motion. I know sometimes it can be an offensive coordinator's worst nightmare, but he catches a lot of people off guard the way that he drops the ball to throw it. It is, I think, masterful that you are able to bring the ball almost down to your waist or waist high to throw it and then put it on a pinpoint. And so if, God forbid, something, happens around our quarterback room, I think we are well taken care of. I think our quarterback room is very, very, very deep. And I think that our coaches are looking for ways for where all of our guys can contribute on any given week, depending upon the scheme and the defense.
Love that. And I gotta say, Camden 6 killer. Hell of a
Beautiful name. Beautiful
Hell
name.
of a name.
I have so many puns waiting for the first touchdown that I call for him. So it's going to be absolutely amazing, whether that's on TV or radio. But 6 killer, I mean, when you're a quarterback, what other name do you need? I'm going to kill you by 6.
Right? Jeez. 6-shooter pistol. There you go. Hopefully you get to use a lot of them, but I'm hoping that you don't have one used this year.
I do want to point out 2 years ago, we did win the first quarter. That's all I'm going to say. 2 years ago, we did win the first quarter. Now, this is a football conversation and not a baseball conversation, so we'll leave it at that.
We love playing the humps.
We love playing you guys. I think that is,
it's
it is known that people believe that is our Super Bowl, and if that's the case, then so be it. We will continue winning more rings. That's just the way that it is.
It's a good feeling, and this is nothing. I hate when NC State does it to us, so I'm not going to say, oh, this is the Super Bowl, especially in football. I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
FCS, FBS, but the baseball, no, the programs are both very good programs.
Absolutely.
Campbell is a very good baseball program. We look forward to playing y'all every year. We had a down year this past year, but hey, hopefully.
So did we. We try to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out. Lots of exciting things happening around the two programs. But
Absolutely.
Lyndall, I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll have time to maybe stop by Sup Dogs and get you a nice lunch pregame. I don't know what your plans are in Greenville, but stop by and hopefully we'll run into you in the press box on Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yes, I know, and I want to real quick. Lindell didn't know he was doing this until about 5:30 this afternoon. So good on him for agreeing to come on last minute. But yeah, we'll see you Saturday, Lindell.
My pleasure. Hey, if you ever need anything, don't be afraid to reach out.
Where can people find your work? Where can people find your work?
Yeah. Twitter, Lindell Suggs _, one word, Lindell Suggs _, LinkedIn, same thing. And so my work is over there. I do a lot of our broadcasting things. So this will be the first football game that I call of the year. So definitely be posting some clips. If any Campbell fans are watching, we're going to do a live pregame and you'll be able to see inside the booth differently. So we are working behind the scenes to make your experience a whole lot better.
Love that. Love that for y'all. But cool. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.
Absolutely. Hopefully sometime in February, when we're destined to date,
Yeah, we'll definitely figure something out. We need to have more guests on for baseball. So we'll definitely figure something out. And then I was gonna say something else. I'll probably think of it and I'll text it to you afterwards. But Lindell, we appreciate you.
Yes. Have a good night, guys. Please.
Have a good one.
Once again, that was Lindell Suggs, one half of the Campbell broadcast crew. Josh, how are we feeling?
I feel like that ghost spread that you found is just so wrong. Like I think, okay, so first of all, I think that they will be able to get us for about 2 or 3 big plays. Those big plays might be touchdowns offensively for them. But otherwise, this feels like one of those ECU runs, just keeps running and just doesn't stop kinds of games.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find that where I found that yesterday. Here, I am texting it to you as we speak. Oh, maybe. You know what? I think I was looking at basketball. Like an old basketball spread. That makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
That makes a lot more sense now.
That's better.
Makes me feel a little bit better. But no, we'll get to it here in a second in the gambling corner. I don't think that they have the firepower, and not to say that ECU is a world beater right now. Kane Hauser played conservatively in game 1. And I think that's kind of what you had to do to make sure that you didn't let the game slip away any further. I think if this game had been close the entire game and ECU felt like they could have taken more shots early on, then maybe you do have an interception or a turnover worthy play there. They didn't have that. I mean, looking at his QBR, I believe he's got right in the middle, 65. I'll take that right now. Got to see that get up there, though. Need a lot more yards. Need to see a lot more passing. And use that speed. All right. Josh, I just remembered we didn't do a number 53. Did you have one?
We did not. Yeah, I was just going to shout out every single person who made the 53-man rosters. That's the best 53 I could come up with. So shout out to let's see, Keaton Mitchell, Jaquan McMillan, Julius Wood. Is there anybody else? Servon Revel.
Yep.
Think about that. We have 3 DBs on 53-man rosters.
ECU's turning into DBU.
I mean, let's think about that, guys. Like, let's really put that into perspective. Like,
with another one waiting in the ranks,
yeah,
and Jamari
another
Riddle.
two, maybe, maybe two.
I mean,
but yes,
if Tegan Wilkes
one
stays
for sure.
healthy, he could definitely make some noise. And I mean, there's some other guys that could possibly make a run, even if on this defense. I think there's definitely some guys that can play on Sunday.
Oh yeah. But shout out to everybody who made a 53-man roster. There's only 53 of you.
For sure. Mine, I was just going to shout out. You know this guy, former Florida Gator, Mike Peterson, Falcons linebacker, back in 2009 to 2012.
Yeah.
He wore that number.
Years.
Wore that number with the Falcons. Did not wear it in his time in Indianapolis or with the Jaguars, but wore it when he played for the Falcons. Born in Gainesville and went to Florida. Is he a coach at Florida now?
I
believe so.
I think so.
I think he's the outside linebackers coach at Florida. So there you go. All right. We want to do walk the plank first. Do you have a walk the plank?
Yeah, walk the plank to UNC Board of Trustees for allowing the hire of Bill Belichick at a time like this when your university needs to look good the most. It arguably looks its worst. And that's just, hey, the name of this one, don't get embarrassed. You got embarrassed.
Every time I think surely UNC is going to do something the right way and do the thing that like makes sense and really invest and not do something stupid. You know, they do call themselves the Ivy League of the South. They continue to figure out how to mess it all up. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Mac Brown stint wasn't terrible, but you still every year you underperformed under Mac Brown. Every year you were talked about being a perennial top 25 team. Every year you finished 6-6, 5-7. If you lucked out, you got to 7-5. It just, we talk about those schools in the triangle, Carolina, NC State, continuously doing less with more. And the fact that you're paying $10 million to Bill Belichick and that's what you got. I mean, look at the fan base. And I get it. I'm not a proponent for leaving a game early. They hyped this up like it was the coming of Jesus at Carolina. Bill Belichick, Chapel Bill, is on the sideline along with his barely legal girlfriend, fiance, whatever they are now. And by the fourth quarter, the stands are empty and all hope for the season is already gone. I don't know. Carolina walked the plank. And then I sent it in the group chat. The craziest part of it all is in his press conference. They had balloons and streamers and whatnot up. That's wild. Take those.
So here's the thing. People haven't been paying attention. The balloons have been a thing since some of the Mac Brown days. It's from the recruiting that happens during the game. They just don't remove it. But it's a part of the whole recruiting thing. And so it's been a thing for a few years. People just haven't seen it because
that's fun because nobody has been paying attention.
Nobody's been paying attention, right?
And the only reason that they're paying attention is Bill Belichick. But still, the fact, like, you know how crazy it would be if
ECU did that.
ECU, I don't know, let's say ECU lost to a, I don't know, North Texas. North Texas is going to be decent this year, but say ECU loses to North Texas at home, and you got Blake Harrell up there standing under a bunch of balloons. That looks like he's about to have a pizza party at the skating rink. It's a bad look. Surely you can figure out how to move those balloons. Keep them up for when you win. Put them away for when you lose.
And they had time to put them away.
Surely Jordan could have thought of that. His PR manager / girlfriend / I was going to say something really bad, but never mind.
But shout out to TCU's social media team.
Oh, fire!
I mean, just
fire.
Had to though.
They've got probably the best social media team in all of college athletics. Constantly on top of their game.
Yeah.
That was going to be my walk the plank. I'm trying to think if there was any others that I saw.
Paul Feinbaum getting everything wrong.
I mean, what else is new? Finally, and I say this. I used to love it. But over the past couple of years, I've called it elder abuse. Lee Corso rides off into the sunset, and College Game Day can go and just go ahead and die now with it. So, I mean, are people still watching College Game Day?
I only watch it from like 11:30 to the kickoff.
Yeah.
Anything earlier than that, it's trash. And I'm never watching Big Noon Kickoff. Just never gonna do that. You know, honestly, the ACC's pregame show better than both of those on the ACC network. Like it was actual football talk. It wasn't rhetoric. It was actual football talk.
That's the thing. The College Game Day and the Big Noon Kickoff. That's all they've become is just mouthpieces for the Big Ten and the SEC. I mean, in what world would like one of those in past years be talking about a 0-1 Virginia Tech playing Vanderbilt this weekend? Two unranked teams. Nobody really gives a shit about the game. And talking about like how I think Virginia Tech's a 3.5 point dog to Vanderbilt. I might have that flipped. I think the spread's 3.5. Like who would have been talking about that? But they're shilling for the SEC because they want the SEC to be some great conference. I don't know. The other thing, Florida State getting fined for storming field. We need more field stormings.
Do it the right way.
What is the right way?
Give 90 seconds for the visiting team to leave the field, right? Like I'm not saying don't storm the field. I'm just saying get the visiting team off the field. You don't have to give them 10 minutes. Just give them some time. Get their stuff together. Get out of here. And then free for all.
Yeah, but that takes away some of the of a field storming.
It does take away some of the but like at the same time, had ECU won, right? I would not have been upset with some fans getting on the field. It wasn't enough ECU fans to really do anything, but
they were all the way up there in the top.
Yeah, they were all the way up there at the top, so it would have been difficult. There was a contingent down low, but they were mainly family, so it wasn't. They weren't going to be the ones getting on the field. But yeah, just give it just a little bit of time. I'm not saying a lot. Just give it a little bit of time. I can't remember what game it was that I was watching. Might have been the Notre Dame game, where at the end the announcer was saying like there was an amount of time to wait before they. Oh, it was Clemson.
Because Clemson storms the field after every game, no matter if they play the Citadel or they play LSU or they play Oregon. They storm the field.
Exactly. But the way that they did it, to me, that's the right way to do it.
Give me chaos. All right. Speaking of chaos, Josh. Gambling corner.
Gambling corner is here. Got some good ones. Gonna start off with the upcoming opponents. None of our true upcoming opponents really have good games this week, so we're going Stanford at BYU. The Cardinal going to see the Cougs. Stanford plus 650 odds. BYU is 18.5 point favorite at home, and the over-under is 46.5.
All right. I think BYU wins. I think that's too much for me to say that BYU covers. I'm going to take Stanford to cover. I'm going to take the over. And then I'll say that is also what Artie says.
That is also what Artie says. Okay.
He has Stanford to cover, BYU to win outright, and we're taking the over.
I've got BYU outright for sure. I've also got BYU to cover. I don't think Stanford's going to put up nearly as many points as we expect. And I'm going to go with the over simply because I think BYU is going to just keep laying it on as much as they can. So similar, but definitely got BYU covering that spread. Next game is our regional matchup this week. Number 11, Illinois makes a trip down to Durham, North Carolina. They are a road favorite. Duke is plus 124. 3-point underdog at home, and the over-under is 49.5.
Part of me really wants to say Duke's going to mess around and do something here. Like there's really a big part of me that wants to say that, but my brain just won't let me. My brain just won't let my heart do it. I'm taking Illinois to win, Illinois to cover. 49.5. I'm gonna take the over. Artie says Illinois outright. Illinois covers, and then he took the under.
Okay. And I'm gonna go with Duke outright. So also to cover. Hopefully, young bull Jamian gets in there a little bit. And 49.5. I'm gonna go under. I don't think this is gonna be crazy. seeing how bad offenses did this week 1, I'm gonna go under for a little while.
Yeah.
Next game on the
Good
list,
point.
we got number 15 Michigan on the road to 18 Oklahoma. This would be a great college game day matchup right here. Oklahoma is minus 192 on the favorites. They're 5.5 point, and over under is 45.5. I'll go ahead and give you mine because I think it's real simple. Oklahoma all day long, except they don't cover the 5.5. I think Michigan makes a comeback late, makes it a game, and I believe that it's right at the 45. So I'm gonna have to go under.
Yeah, I've got. I keep looking at this. I think. I think I'm gonna take Oklahoma to cover, and I think I'm also gonna take the under here.
Taking the under.
And then Artie just says Michigan under.
I get it. And then our last game is the game of the week for East Carolina, hosting Campbell. There are no lines publicly available for us to pick from, so we are setting our own lines this week. Jerry, do you have a line to set? We're just looking for a spread and an over-under. And your over-under is really your closest final combined score.
Yeah. Maybe I'm giving too much credit. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to ECU. I don't know. I'm going to say I started off at minus 24.5. I'm going to say minus 21.5. I'm going to be a little more conservative with it. I think I would probably set the over under then at, geez, I'm trying to do math now. Fuck.
You gotta have a final score. You gotta have a final score to do the math.
Give me a second.
How many does Campbell score? And then add your 21.
All right. I'm gonna do. Why did I have to go first? Fuck. I'm gonna say. See, I'm trying to make sure that they're football scores too. Like
they don't have to be. Did you not see that 5-10 halftime score?
That's wild. That's not a football score.
It was SEC. That's football right there.
Just means more. All right, give me 52.5.
52.5. All right. I'll go ahead and give you mine. I've got ECU covering a 28-point spread, evenly on 28, and my over-under is 57. We're going a half.
I'm having to do math on your shit now too. You said, all right, 58.5.
57.5. 57.5.
And you said minus. Okay. I don't know how any of that works, but all right.
I'm saying that we're winning by at least 28, so we can still win by
No, I get that. I get that.
Right.
All right. My brain's fried.
Did
Math
I already
is
have
hard.
one?
He didn't give me a line. He didn't give me a spread. He just gave me over under 52.5 ECU covers.
Okay.
So whatever we set it at,
Whatever we set it at. All right.
he's rolling with the Pirates. All right, Josh, thank you again for a great episode 253. Artie will be back next week after he celebrates the start of his marriage. So please, if you see him Saturday, give him a cheers, give him a hug, give him a high five, pound it, whatever. Throw him a beer to shotgun on his way to the game. I'll make him do it just like I made him do 6 Smirnoff Ices pre-wedding. Yeah, that's all we got. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, wherever. Subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell. That way you get notified every single time we go live. Follow us on social media at Boneyard Podcast, at the Boneyard Podcast on TikTok. Josh has been killing it with the videos lately, so be sure to check that out on Instagram and TikTok. Lastly, please leave us a 5-star review. If you don't, Josh, tell them what to do.
Walk the plank.
Damn right. We'll see you Saturday, Pirate Nation. We're gonna be there beside Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Until then, we love you, and we'll talk to you next week. Josh, any final words, or can we just get out of here?
See you at the house.
All right, there you have it. Go damn Pirates.